session. Can you hear me? You're welcome. I can see Milton, Jeremiah, and Mr. Franklin, Mr. Ferrazin. You're welcome. Okay, so let's look at the fundamentals before we go technicals. Okay. On Monday, we have just one major news from Great Britain. Bank of England Governor Bailey speaks. That's by 7:45 p.m. tomorrow. And on Tuesday, we're expecting two major news from Australia. Then by 2:30 from Canada, CPI, that's Consumer Price Index. Then by 8 p.m., FOMC meeting minutes. Now, if you're not a fundamental trader, you should avoid trading 2 hours to when the news will be released. If you are not a fundamental trader, if you don't know how to trade it in few hours to the time this news will be released. Okay. Then on Wednesday, we're expecting a major news from Australian dollar, US dollar by 2:30 and 4 p.m. And by 5:30 p.m., we're expecting a major news from Canada. And on Thursday, Euro, there are several major news from Euro between 9:15 and 10 a.m. Okay. Then on Friday, we have just 3 major news, 1 from Europe and 2 from the United States. Okay, so you should know when this news, the time this news will be released, so that you know the best time to execute your technical setup. Okay, as you know, the major news play a major role in the market. All these news are high impact news, and when they are released, market becomes very volatile. Okay, so let's go to the chart. So let's start with gold. What are your expectations? What am I seeing on gold? I'm considering selling gold this week. Okay, so let's start with the weekly time frame. What do we have on the weekly time frame? Okay, so what do we have on the weekly time frame? So it is looking at last week candle. Last week was strongly bullish on gold. The candlestick closed bullish. There is a high probability that price might keep going up because last bullish. Okay, now after the close of this hanging man, that's 2-3 weeks ago, after the close of this hanging man, so this is the weekly resistance level. If this resistance is broken, there's a high probability that price will keep going up. And on the weekly time, we have a support. Now this week, it is either price drops to this low or breaks this resistance level and keep going up. That's my take on gold. It is either price drops to this low or breaks this resistance and keep going up. Let's go down to daily. What do we have on daily? Now you see what we have on daily. Last Friday candle closed as a doji, and a doji indicates change in trend from bullish to bearish. When a doji forms in an upward trend, it indicates that the buyers are becoming exhausted. They are getting exhausted. Okay, so last Friday candle closed as a doji. This tells me that there is a high probability for price to drop on gold. Okay, there's a high probability that price of gold would drop. Okay. Now, besides that, last Friday candle closed as a doji. If you go back here, you would see that we had a resistance. Can you see that we had a resistance at this point? And immediately price tested that level, that's the resistance. There was a strong rejection from that level. Okay, so that's the second reason I'm considering selling gold. Okay, we have a doji candlestick formation, and can you hear me? Okay, so let's go down to 4 hour. What do we have on 4 hour? Okay, so see, this is what we had on 4 hour. On 5, 6. These 6 candles makes up a candle. This was the formation we had. Now, if you look at what we have here, you would see that the formation we have here looks like an engulfing pattern. And after the formation of the bullish candle, we had a support. Bullish candle. We had a support here. Now, this tells me that supply demand. And when supply exceeds demand, price is expected. Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, comment yes. If you go back here, you would see that which became a support above this resistance. It became a support. And you see that. So those are the reasons I'm considering selling gold. This is bullish. The weekly is bullish. Okay, but going by 4 hour and 1 hour, I would be selling gold. I hope that is clear. Then GBP USD. What do we have on GBP USD? I think at the USD, GBP USD is in a range. So before I consider buying GBP USD, this of this range, high of this range, before I consider buying gold. Sorry, GBP USD. So it's either price the high of the range or the low of the range. If price breaks the low, GBP USD. If price breaks the high, I'll consider buying. You can see the preceding, it went into a range. Is bullish. It's a strong bullish move. So if price breaks, it means that the buyers have overpowered sellers. So there's a probability for price to keep. And if sellers are able to push the price below this low of this range, there's a probability that price will keep dropping. If price breaks this high or breaks the low for me to sell, that's my take on GBP. So if we go by the time, can you hear me? I think the network is not stable. Okay. Last time closed strongly bullish, and it closed above a resistance level. Okay, so this tells me that demand has a probability for price to keep going up. That is on the weekly time frame. Okay, if we go down to daily, okay, good. You see what we have on daily? If you go back here, we had, okay, this was the resistance. That level was also the resistance in the past. So price is in between this support or got to this support. There was a strong rejection. Can you see it? And last Friday candle also tested this support, and there was a strong rejection from that level. Price to have entered, or the best time one entered by, after the close of this bottom. Moved. So I think price is towards, okay, price is heading towards this resistance, and we might see a strong rejection. I'm not buying GBP/USD or selling GBP/USD. For price to get to this zone, this resistance zone, if a bearish pattern around this zone, I would sell GBP/USD. What will happen is, see how traders will react at this zone. That will determine to sell. And it's possible that price will drop to this support before going market price. Sorry, GBP/USD. I cannot buy. If I want to buy, I want to see price pull back to this support. That is when I will consider selling or buying GBP/USD. I cannot buy the probability that when price gets to this resistance, it could pull back. What's my risk on that trade? If I decide to buy from this point, my stop to be at this level. The risk on the trade will be what? 89 pips. And I don't take such risk. I don't take such risk. So before I would buy, price should pull back to this support, discount level, before I would buy. I hope you get that. I cannot jump in and buy, because if I buy from here, I'm risking close to 9. My first TP will be at this level, which is just, see, this is just about 60 pips. So I will be risking 90, close to 90 pips for 60 something pips. That's not a good risk reward. So that's the reason I GBP/USD, even though it has a high probability of getting to this level, the risk I would say is higher than the reward. I pull back to this level, and at that level, my stop loss will still be at this level, which is just about. So I'm risking 40 pips to make 100 and something pips. Do you get that? So entering at the current market price is not a buy. Okay, so that's my take on G. support or this or sell if price pulls into this supply zone on GU. I hope that's clear. Okay, let's move to the next pair, $1 USD. If there's any pair you want us to analyze together, please drop it in the comment space. If there's any pair you are considering trading and you want us to look at it together, as you know, AU are positively correlated to what we have on GU, right? So Australian is in the, but the preceding trend before this range is bullish. Okay, so let's start with the week. On GU. So last week was strong bullish. Okay, we had a resistance here. Last week, there's that resistance, and there was a rejection, right? There was a rejection from that resistance. We had a support here. Level was a support turn resistance. Can you see it? It was a support. So price tested that level. You can see this bearish candle also tested this resistance level, and there was a pullback. Okay, so let's go to daily. What do we have on daily? Okay, good. So on daily, resistance, support, okay? So it's a key level. If price breaks this zone, you want to consider buying. You want to consider buying. But let's look at the weekly, okay? Okay, you look buying if price breaks this high, this resistance. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right, so price to break this resistance for me to consider buying. But if you look at what we had, this was a previous resistance. It could be that this bullish is at this level. It could be that they just hunted for the stop losses at this level, and there was a strong pullback from that level. That resistance. Is that this resistance might be broken. There's a probability that this resistance might be broken. AU, I'm considering selling GU. I would also sell AU. So that's on pattern. Okay, same pattern. So we don't need to analyze this. Same pattern. Let's see. USD and New Zealand. See what we have is the same pattern. Let's look at USD card, which is negatively correlated. Okay, so let's start with the week. That's USDJPY. Okay. So what do we have here? You can see this is a resistance zone. Price has been trying to break this zone, but it hasn't been able to. Still looks bearish, right? At the weekly time frame, it looks. What do we have on daily? But if you look at what we have here, this is a spinning bottom. Next candle closed bullish, right? You can see that we had a support here. This candle tested that level. We also had a support here. This could just be a pullback. Okay, so on USD card, I think USD card is still bullish. We apply trend line. I think it is still also use structure. You see that USD card is forming higher high and higher low, right? So that's a bullish structure. If you see that it's still bullish. Okay, so my bias on USD card is bullish. Let's go. So my bias on USD card is bullish. Okay, price might pull back into this support level. It's bullish move. Okay, we might see to this support before price moving in its bullish direction. USD card. I'm bullish on USD card. Okay. I hope that is clear. I'm bullish. Will be the last 12:49 session. Unless you have any. Let's start from the weekly time frame. Last week I closed bearish on the resistance. Look at the structure we have here. This is a blue structure, a trend line. This is a blue structure. Let's see what so on daily, price tested this support. Have another support here. So price tested this support zone. The close of this candlestick. What candlestick formation do we have on 4 hour? That would be price will keep dropping. Okay, so the candlestick formation on 4 hour and 1 hour will determine if we can buy. If you look at what we call this spinning bottom or doji, okay? So if you go back, it had a support, right? Then we had a support here. This is another block. This is another block. So price tested this support zone. So there's effort that price will come up from this level. After the close of this, we can and go down to 1 hour 15 minutes to see if it's created a fair value gap. Yeah, I have fair value gap for 1 hour. No fair value gap. Let's check 15 minutes. There's a fair value. Okay, so we have a fair value gap here. It should be filled. But I want to see price fill this gap. Okay. Yeah. Have anything you want us to look at? Is there anything you want us to look at? Let me know. Mr. Frank, you can unmute your mic, Mr. Frank. Unmute your mic if you have any question. GJ is bullish too. Okay, let's see. It's bullish. Let's start with the weekly. What do we have on the weekly? So on the weekly, this candle looks like a shooting star. And before we start selling, or before we conclude that, that the next candle should close bearish, right? If we are going by the weekly, the next to sell GBP JPY this week, we have to wait for the candle to close. Daily, what do we have on daily after the close of that candle? So on daily, we had a bearish reversal pattern here. Up, to close bearish. So we should have sold on Friday, right? We should have sold on Friday because information on Sunday, right? So on Friday we should have sold. Now look at this candle, the week of this. You can see tested our support, tested this. And we also had it also closed above this. You can see it closed above this support levels. It was a strong close of Friday candle. What candlestick formation do we have on 4 hour? Set. But I wouldn't advise jumping and start buying because price has already moved. It has already moved. So you should have entered buy. And the market so before you buy the value gap. So let's go down to 1 hour 15 minutes to see if we can find. So 15 minutes we have okay. price by put fair value gaps. For those of you who can't identify fair value gaps, you could just make use of the Fibonacci tool. To a discount level, which is below level 50 at the current market price. The risk could be too high to a discount level, which is below 50, and there is a bullish reversal pattern. Don't buy at the current market price. The risk is too level. Okay. For example, if price pulls back and you decide to buy from this level, your stop loss will be as low as 42 pips. Okay, 42 pips. And you could aim for 100 pips. Or if you decide to buy from the current market, your stop loss should be at pips. Decide to buy at the current market price, 119 pips. That is too high. You can take on GJ. I'm bullish on GJ this week. Any other question? Also, if you look at, based on what we have on this, this is 4-hour time frame, right? Bullish structure, right? It's a bullish structure, and I think this was the last. Okay, this was the last higher low. Until this higher low is still bullish, or the structure is still bullish. So when this higher low is cleared, that is when the structure. So the market is still in a bullish direction. Any question? Any question? The mics are open. You have it. Mr. Franklin. Mr. Franklin, can you hear me? Okay, guys, that will be all for tonight's session. I appreciate your participation. And I wish you all a profitable trading week. Good risk and money management. Always apply stop loss on all your trades. If you don't want to blow your account, always apply constantly. Trust your system. If you're set up, if you think you're set up, execute the trade, stop loss. If you lose, you learn from your mistakes. You learn from it. You have a wonderful night. The conversation continue on WhatsApp. Okay? Have any question? If you have any pair you want to trade and you're not so sure, drop it on the WhatsApp group.